Hello, YouTube fans. Here again. Do I actually shut off my face? And when I've got shut off my face, I've got to tell you. I've got to tell you before I do my movie with you. I just had the most beautiful triple cheeseburger with doner meat. That's right. So it was 3 burgers and 1 muffin. Had cheese on top, jalapenos, salad, and doner meat. And the burial was by sea. Beautiful, just beautiful. So I just thought I'd bore people and tell you about the beautiful takeaway I had. A triple cheeseburger. Oof, just lost the surface after going to the gym. Nothing in the world I love than a nice big juicy cheeseburger with lots of doner meat. So my mouth's too watering and I'm still enjoying the taste and just enjoying the memory. And speaking of a memory, one of my favourite subs called Louise, who thinks I'm wonderful, which I am wonderful, Louise, if you're watching me, the good looking one. And staying with this beautiful presser. Action! Take one. Is this proper the right way? But if you see it backwards, it's double is when you've got a camera or you've got a mirror, and people may not know this, get a DVD, get a photo of yourself, get anything with words and put it near the mirror. And I'll bet you it does it backwards. That's the only thing a mirror cannot affect proper, and that is words. Try it, people. You think I'm talking out my anus? Get words, whether it's your name, whether it's your loved one, whether it's whatever, whether it's a DVD, a CD, or anything with words to make it go faster. Put it near the mirror, and I'll bet you the words don't look right. It affects them backwards. That's the only one thing a mirror cannot do right, apart from your beautiful face. So if this looks backwards, people, it's the reflection of the camera. Hopefully it won't look the way it's looking on my camera, and it might look normal when it reflects back, because it just reflects the other way when I but my videos on, especially on the YouTube, to make it faster. So this is what the beautiful Louise is one of my fans has sent me, a topper board. That's right. So maybe when I do my videos, I'm going to say action. So big soppy thank you to Louise. I've still got the topping board that you sent me. One of my YouTube fans. Humbling when I get presses from my fans out there. It's very humbling indeed. So I've got a suggest today. Somebody wants me to review a film from, not just any film, but a film from the early 90s from Paul Holden. Same director with different classics, let's say like Robotop, Total Recall, and all these other date films. That being Basic Instincts. That's right, Basic Instincts. Come out in 1992. And I always remember this film. They want me to review it, so I am doing. But I remember this film. I remember the thingy when it come out. I remember a lot of gay people didn't like it. People of a different sexuality didn't like it because the character, if I remember rightly, what Sharon Stone was playing was a bisexual and she was a psychopath. But I never really got offended. To me, it was just a fucking film. You know what I mean? It was just a film. But back then, it had a lot of backlash. It was not having a lot of bonking, a lot of violence, a lot of everything. I like it. I didn't think it was a bad film. And remember, like the director Paul Holden got Sharon Stone in the film because at the time, it was like 2 years he did Total Recall, and Paul Holden liked the fact she played this very loving, nice wife, but she wasn't, and she was stabbed and didn't look at you. So they asked the bad to get up for copyright. So the end of the day, he wanted in the next film. It was basically, he was inspired by a film what he did. Well, no, what he did, but a film that came out in 1983. Had a similar sort of story of Basic Instincts. So he was inspired and he wanted to do his own version of this film what he saw in 1983. And obviously the film would be Basic Instincts. So they got Michael Douglas as the lead character. And where can I go with it? So at first, got this really bit of funny music. It plays all the way through the film. You've got a couple. You don't actually see the woman's face that proper, but you got the idea they're doing it. Guy's a bit kinky. He likes to be tied up. Okay, well, soon you're on. Not for me to judge. And the end of the day, he gets tied up. She's literally riding him. And then you think, oh, this is getting a bit in water. But the next thing you know, she pulls an ice pick out, stabs him to death. Looks like something out of a fucking horror movie. She literally stabs the shit out of him, stabs him in the eyeballs, stabs him in the face. She literally stabs this poor dude to death. And then Michael Douglas comes into it to investigate the murder. He's not like a detective cop. And if you like, Michael Douglas took a risk doing this film because in real life he was suffering a sex addiction. You know, sometimes you have addictions. He was suffering a coke addiction. He was coming off coke, not the one you drink, and he was coming off a sex addiction. He was addicted to sex. I'm a bit addicted to that myself, but that's a different story. But nevertheless, he was addicted to that, and he was coming off that. So, the end of the day, this film didn't really would have been almost turning him again. Because basically the character who he's called Samantha, played again by Simon Stone, is a sex addict. She's addicted to sex, but she's manipulative. So, investigating the murder, he noticed the murder's taken off a book by the girl called Samantha, played by Simon Stone. So he goes to her house to find out what's been going on, and he gets it on this thing called a lie detector. Now, anyone knows the scene, everybody's going to rewind and prepare the scene. There's a lot of rumours that Paul Alden filmed her after to take her knickers off because his dad had seen the lens, and on purpose he zoomed in to see the bus. Sandstone found out and basically slapped him one. But I'm not a fly on the wall. Whether that happened or not is a different story, but we all know the scene. So he's talking to her, she opens her legs, and all us men see Dold. We see fucking Dold. She opens her legs, we all see the bus. The bus, man. We got to see the bus. Let me see the bus. So she signs Stone's bus. Very nice to look at. Makes have nice legs. One of the most pause moments. Every male, even women, what loves women, whatever. We all get to see the Dold. We get to see Simon Stone's bus. Very nice to see. And you've got the idea that Michael Douglas meets his psychiatrist. It used to be his woman. This guy's been a dick with him. He takes her back to the house. He ends up giving her one. He bangs her from behind. She doesn't like it. She walks off. But then he gets woken up and the guy's a dick. Gets a bullet hole in his head. They think he's done it. Obviously, he hasn't done it. But he doesn't get suspended because there's no proof that he shot this guy. But they asked him to go basically on leave. He gets investigated over this. So he decides to say fuck it. He goes and meets Sandstone, Samantha in a nightclub, grabs her from behind, goes to her house, they have sex, he goes down on her. She ties him up, she rides him like a fucking stallion. And there's a bit here where you think, is she going to kill him? And I do know originally there was an artistic drawing of a bonking scene where, if I remember rightly, Michael Douglas gets stabbed to death, but then he wakes up and it turns out to be a nightmare. And you've got Simon Stone as Samantha lying at the side of him. Of course, it was inspired Paul Holden to put that in because of the nightmare scene that Arnold Schwarzenegger had in the opening of Total Recall. Remember the opening where Arnie falls and he dies, then he wakes up and it's just a nightmare. But I think at the time, Paul Holden felt when he re-looked at it, it would be a bit frightening, it would probably scare the audience. So instead, you got a bonking scene, and that got stabbed. There's this one day, you got the idea that Samantha's bisexual and she's her girlfriend and she has a go at Michael Douglas. But I love the bit where he says, I think she's the ultimate fuck of the censorer. I gotta admit, I actually had a few chuckles at that scene. Then halfway through the film, she tries to kill Michael Douglas, the woman who's Sandstone's woman. She gets killed in an horrible accident, a car accident. But I always like Basic Instincts because I think it's very stylish, it's very slick. You try to find out who's the killer all the way through the film. Then you've got his mate, Michael Douglas' mate, who's going mad at him. That's a pussy talking, which again maybe had a few chuckles in that line. But he gets killed, he gets stabbed by the ice pick. Then Michael Douglas thinks it's his ex-girlfriend. He pulls the gun out, he's wanting her to stay back, but he ends up shooting her. And then he finds out it's not her, so he's going to give him the keys, telling him to fuck off. So he's just killed his ex-girlfriend for no reason. Then he gets unsuspended. They put him back as a detective. He meets Science Stone. They kiss. She hugs him. They go to bed again. They have sex. She rides him again like a stallion. And then there's a bit where they lie down, they're talking afterwards, and she says, well, we have kids, or we don't have kids, or we just have sex. Decide, fuck it, we have sex. But then it has a twist to it. So, anyone's ever seen Basic Instincts? Fuck it, I'm going to spoil it, word of warning. You've been warned. Underneath the bed where the bonk in, it goes straight down under the bed, and you see an ice pick. And then it leaves you thinking, she did kill that guy. She did stab him with the ice pick. Shit, shock, horror. And they could have followed that on with that being Basic Instincts 2. If I do a review of that, it's got to be a rant. It's got to be a rant. It's shit. It's boring. Again, I keep doing it. It's digging things up from the fucking past. It wasn't fucking needed. It wasn't really wanted. To me, this is a standalone film, and it's one of them films where you think, is Michael Douglas going to be the next one to get murdered? Like I say, it's a stylish film. It definitely has a lot of bonking, a lot of nudity. Inspired a lot of other films after. I remember reviewing it being Body of Evidence, which funny enough come out 1 year after this, Madonna. I told Madonna had to do a better scene where she sews a bus, but instead of sewing that, she had to sit in someone's face. To me, that is just a remake of Chucky Dead's. You never seen Chucky Dead's? Damn good film. If I remember right, the Death Bridges, where all the way through the film you think he's innocent. Spoiler, he's not innocent. It turns out he did do this horrible murder. Body of Evidence is just the same story, only the first it's to a woman. Instead of murdering a fucking wife, because it's a woman now, she's murdering men for money, but not just stabbing them. She's basically shagging men who's got a weak heart. So if I was an old man and I've got a weak heart, she'd get on me, ride me, shag me to death, and give me a heart attack. And the only through the film, you think, yes, she's sexy active, but she's not that way. Then you find out nearly at the end of the film, she is that way, and she shagged people for death for money. That's basically Body of Evidence. And they had other sort of erotic films after, but Basic Instincts was the one that did it all. It came out, like I say, in 1992. It was a big success. It was a popular film of that there. It did the son's Paul Holden iron in status. I mean, like I say, 2 years before he did this, he did my favourite action film of Arnold Schwarzenegger, being Total Recall. You know what I think about the remake. Sucks ass. That then we can fucking ride and fuck off. The original one, I'm being, I just said it, Total Recall. That's a damn good film. It did my favourite. Never needed a fucking remake. Fuck you to the remake. That being my favourite sci-fi film, being Robotop. Love that film. Even if the director's cut more because it's more out-of-firing. Needs to be. Did not need this PC fucking friendly shitty ones after. Damn good film. He did another one of my favourite films in the late 90s, being Starship Troopers. Very good film, I'd be one to review that along the road. But this one, got no problems with it. Got no problems with it. Didn't need a sequel. Good standalone film. Definitely made a name for Science Stone, even though she did films well before she did Basic Instincts. This film lined her up in a role again. Because her career started to die down after she did films, let's say, like Sullivan's Mind. Never seen that, King Sullivan's Mind. It's just basically a spin-off of Indiana Jones. She did films roughly like that, and her career was going down. It was only when she did Total Recall, and then Paul Holden had to do Basic Instincts, and she opened her legs, and we all saw gold. It summed her career back up. So that would have been the making of Basic Instincts. Put into them, fuck it. 4-star rating from me. Put into them, be smart, be safe, pull out my ice pick, enjoyed that burger, better than sets. Put into them. See you later.